Okay, take two, because my first attempt, this wasn't terribly good, but Star Wars Thoughts Part 4. In the end of Part 3, I just kind of scrabbled together my thoughts on Episode 9, and why it didn't meet my standards either. Among which are the kind of ridiculous scavenger hunt of things, and the fact that the Emperor somehow didn't die in Episode 6, and there's some extended universe stuff that actually had an interesting idea for that, but anyway, Episode 9, just not so good, except for the nostalgia bits. And so the sequel trilogy was a gigantic letdown, and the Skywalker saga, the 9 numbered episodes of Star Wars, only 1/3 of them are actually good. And that's, of course, the original trilogy. So now that I've gone over like the major stuff, I guess Part 4 can start to be about some of the add-ons. I'll start with Solo, which was fine, I guess. Again, this is another situation where the actors did well with what they were given. The production value was great, but it did not live up to the potential it had, and just left us with something not good enough. And what I mean by that is that what they should have done is a series more in the style of Andor than a one-shot movie. Because in the movie, they tried to cram in the entirety of what's known about Han's backstory. At least widely known. There we go. That's what I'll say. You have the basic pieces of Chewbacca gaining loyalty to Han because Han frees him from Imperial enslavement, except it was kind of more along the lines of he was just trapped in a cage, and we never really addressed the life debt part. I was definitely thrown in there, and not something that was deep enough for that part of the story. And you have Han and Lando supposedly having a really kind of long-standing acquaintanceship that's bordering on friendship. And like, you get the impression, and there are bits where like Lando and Han played a fair amount of Sabacc, and like went back and forth with things. And it wasn't until like later that Han won the Millennium Falcon from Lando. So that felt like another thing that was squished in there. Like, Han and Lando should have been long-standing acquaintances before Han won the ship from him. Like, does that make sense? Like, that was definitely another rushed piece of it. Explaining where the Millennium Falcon Nava computer came from. Okay. That's not one I'd heard before, if it's from any of the source material. It's a fine enough story, whatever. The Kessel Run, they threw that in there, and they threw in a romance story unnecessarily. Like, why did we need a romantic interest? Wow, this person is really bad at staying out of the left lane. Okay, there we go. So yeah, it wasn't necessary. I mean, Daenerys Targaryen did a fine job. Uh-oh, now I feel bad. I did used to know that actress's name. No, it's not coming to me. But she did a fine job. Again, with what she was given. Let's see, and then I think the fact that they crammed so much stuff in and introduced a different crime syndicate and added their own pieces to it, there's just too much stuff in it, and they left other interesting things about Han's past out. And there's plenty of material that could have made for a pretty awesome series, like the flavor of Andor. And so, like, we could have gotten a whole bunch of his time smuggling in or out of the Hutt-controlled regions of space, including Tatooine, shown his relationship with Jabba. Heck, even had episodes where he wildly pleased Jabba by performing one of the smuggling jobs really well. I don't know, like, there was plenty of room for them to build up Han's story, and so we could see the friendship of Han and Chewie growing, like why they are so loyal to each other, why they are so good at working together. And then even like thrown in like multiple encounters with Lando and have him kind of be a background story where like he's got lots of business ventures that he keeps trying, and toward the end there he's talking about a Tabana gas mine as kind of a pipe dream or something. And the end of the series then could also be the story of Han losing favor with Jabba and getting the price on his head. Yeah. Give us the story, not just a mushed together summary. Alright, so I think that's probably enough about Solo. And then, ooh, come on, people. There we go. And then we have Rogue One. And I'll start by saying Rogue One did a really good job of emotionally engaging me. I enjoyed that movie. The characters were really well done, well acted, and sorry, like I was just waiting at a red light for no reason. I got into the other lane, turned also. Just, whatever. This guy's been waiting here longer than me. If he wants to go, okay, he's not trying. Yeah, so Rogue One is a good, entertaining movie. It's got a lot going for it. I enjoyed it. But I have a few issues with it, and I'll try to convey them. The first issue is their story for why there's a weakness in the station is not great. Like, one of the major engineers puts a flaw in and then sets it up so his daughter's the only one that's gonna find it, and so she has to risk her life and take that responsibility. And like, if she misses that opportunity, his whole effort is pointless. Yeah, I don't know, that doesn't seem like something I would do to my daughter. And like, really, the weakness that the rebels found shouldn't have been a thermal exhaust port to begin with, because it makes no sense. But just like a maintenance tunnel. And then why would you need to build that in to begin with? Yeah, anyway, so the movie shouldn't have been predicated on the idea of one of the Imperial engineers building in a weakness. That's just, nope, not a good basis for the story. Next problem that I have is that then the story becomes the story of Jyn Erso. And, like, sure, she's a fine character. Like, I enjoyed watching them. As I said, I got emotionally engaged. But I'm just about at the end of my thing. I guess it's going to be part 5. Yeah, thanks for listening.